going on, Jerome homies? Beautiful Thursday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, Merry Christmas, Merry belated Christmas, Happy Holidays, and now that all of the joy to the world and family and friends and all that fun stuff, it's out of the way. We can refocus on what matters. And what matters is sticking it to the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers, because everything that's going on right now. Oh, did you see Jordan Love shred the Saints practice squad? Everyone's talking about how no one wants the Packers. Blah, 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 blah. It's all right. It's perfectly fine. But hey, not going to say anything nice about the Packers because they're garbaggio. I cannot wait for the regular season finale at historic US Bank Stadium. I say that because the Vikings going to get that 1 seed. 2 games at US Bank Stadium on the way down to Nowlands to exorcise the demons. It's going to be glorious. So, loud and proud. Send them out. Do not sell your tickets to stupid Packers fans. I understand that it's tempting because ticket prices are insane at this moment in time. And if you sell, it could probably pay for next year's season tickets. I fully understand that inkling. Don't do it. Don't do it. Or sell them to someone that you know is a Vikings fan. Like, just skip Ticketmaster. Anyways. But, yes, Jordan Love, hey, welcome to the House of Pain, man. Hey, everyone's talking about how you deserve to be the highest paid quarterback in National Football League history until Dak got paid. No. Every single penny you're going to want to return after pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, after sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. That's right. The Vikings defense going to get right. Hey, remember when the Vikings were up 28-0 in Green Bay, and then you had Jalen Nailor misplaying that punt, and then it swung the momentum the other way, and the Packers came storming back after the Vikings puckered up a little bit, slinging Sammy Darnold, led them on a key field goal drive to seal the game. Yeah, I remember that. Pepper Char remembers it. The first half, minus Naylor, over and over and over and over again. The Vikings knocking down all the wood. They've had some puck luck with injuries. It looks like Ivan Pace Jr. is going to be back to full fitness, back with Cashman, whipping that ass, and all 4 quarters, all 3 phases, all 4 quarters, and get things done, get a big-time win. Because, you know, I understand the Lions have a gimme putt against the 49ers on Monday night. I mean, plus you have the added motivation of, oh, hey, you know what's hilarious? So I don't think that the Lions are going to be back in the NFC title game, let alone the Super Bowl, anytime soon. All right? And I think that last year was their shot. Last year was their 85 Bears shot. Last year, they should have held on to that massive lead in the NFC title game against San Francisco, and they would have whooped the living bejesus out of the Chiefs. I firmly believe that, and that should haunt Lions fans. It should, because they ain't getting there this year. Lions are going to end up as the 5 seed. They're going to go on the road and lose to the 4 seed, whether that's the Rams or the Falcons or whoever, and I'm going to cackle. Cackle. Hey, but at least Ben Johnson can design fake fall down pass plays. Congratulations. Good job. But, yeah, the NFC North division is congested, except for the Bears. Hey, remember when the Bears said that they're going to take the NFC North and never give it back? Hey, remember when all of the hype and everyone was all up on the ass of the Bears? Remember that? Pepperidge Farm remembers. We certainly do. That's right. But as the Vikings get ready for the Packers. So, seeing different reports, either they didn't have a practice or they had a walkthrough. Either way, it was a simulated estimation in terms of the injury report. 2 DNP, Fabian Moreau, Harrison Smith. A little bit concerning with Harrison, but we'll see what happens on Thursday, Friday. Kevin O'Connell, kind of a rosier outlook on things, on Hitman returning. Now, veteran presence on the back end and communication is huge. And the Vikings been missing Gilly. They missed Harrison last week after Gilmore came back. Having that communication, especially in these high leverage games, you need that. Jalen Redmond progressing through the concussion protocol. Missed last week against the hell we played last week? Yeah, the Seahawks nailed it. Would love to have him back, get that interior pass rush back, 61 making plays. And then 5 list is full. Cashman, Ham, PJ 2, Oliver, who's still... Oliver's been back fully healthy for like 2 months, and he's still listed, which is kind of funny. And they got Ivan Pace Jr., who they opened up his 21-day return to practice window. It's really good that they estimated that he would be full, but we'll see what happens Thursday when the Vikings do get a full practice. Someone who came back through off of injured reserve 21-day window, TJ Hawkinson. So it's important to note, Vikings 8-0 since Hockenson came back, and that chemistry with him and Darnold is still continuing to build. And you can see, like, Jefferson and Darnold are up here. Addison and Darnold are up here. Hockenson and Darnold, still fits and starts. I feel like when it goes, it goes. Especially on third down, especially a 2-minute drill. But we'll love to see Hockenson get the rock more. And we said that at the start of the season when the Vikings starting out fast, and Jefferson and Speedy Naylor and Addison were against them, you just wait till Hockenson gets all up in there, because it's so hard to defend every single blade of grass. And you have Jefferson and Addison deep outside intermediary, as well as you have Hockenson over the middle, plus up the seams. Like, it's really tough. It puts a lot of stress on defenses. Plus, Aaron Jones is as good a receiver as a lot of wide receivers in this league. So, yeah, there's no shortage of weapons. One of those weapons is, of course, Justin freaking Jefferson. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. He's not a good announcer. All right. And there's way too many conflicts of interest with him being a minority owner of the Raiders. Like, what's the point? Like, you gave him an assload of money, and he has to watch what he says, and he's also not very good, and also his voice is nasally and kind of annoying. And of course, since the Vikings and Packers got flexed, it will be Brady and Kevin Burkhardt, America's Game of the Week on Fox. So, great. Fantastic. But Justin freaking Jefferson, after his 10 for $144 and 2 game against Seattle, was one of Brady's stars of the week. Cool. Great. And talking about what Jefferson's going to do on Sunday. Quote, let's see if the Packers secondary has any answers for JJ this week. I doubt it. And one of the players that could be missing is Jaire Alexander. Now, Jaire's been interesting, where he's been suffering from a knee injury for the past couple weeks, and he was even listed as a full participant in practice, even though they ruled him out against the Saints game. Now, maybe the Packers knew that they're playing basically the Memphis Showboats, and they're going to beat the living piss out of the non-existent Saints team, and so maybe giving Jaire an extra week to rest, trying to get him up and ready to go for the Vikings game on Sunday. Jefferson, Addison, but I mean, let's stop acting like Jaire is a lockdown cornerback. Now, Jaire is a safety help over the top, and I'll start talking some type cornerback. It's okay, but it's the holidays, so I'm glad when fathers and sons get to spend some time together, and even stepfathers and sons. Like, he's not the stepfather; he's the father who stepped up. So maybe Jordan Addison is going to go off if they double and triple Justin friggin' Jefferson. Certainly going to happen. The guy dropping them balls to Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, slinging Sammy Darnold. So I understand people are like, well, let's see how the season plays out, then we'll talk about it. What are you talking about now? It's interesting. It's really interesting. And the Vikings have a really odd dynamic. Like, they have a potential franchise quarterback who is only 27 in slinging Sam Darnold. They have another potential franchise quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, who's only 21, and the highest drafted quarterback in team history. You went up and went and got him. Now, I still firmly believe J.J. McCarthy, Michigan man, is going to be that dude, but it's a leap of faith, right? You haven't seen him on the field as of yet. You do worry about that knee a little bit, and Darnold has ripped the cover off the ball. But you still have Kevin O'Connell, so everything's going to be all right, rockabye. But one of the options that the Vikings have with Darnold is like, hey, we can put you in the franchise tag, 1 year, $41-42 million, or tag and trade, which certainly could be viable for the Vikings, because if he leaves in free agency, you get a comp pick credit for 2026. You might not get it. It's whatever. It's tapped out of the third-round pick. You're going to get a lot more if you tag and trade Sam Darnold. But long story longer, Purple Persuasion, per Alec Lewis of the Athletic, the Vikings are, quote, not going to slap the franchise tag without conversing with Sam Darnold's representatives to ensure that it's the best feeling for both sides, end quote. Now, it's the Vikings' prerogative, and the business is certainly the business. Now, if they want to see what Sam Darnold can do for one more year and give J.J. McCarthy his knee another year, and also want to see what he can do fully healthy and in training camp and preseason and in mop-up duty, that's their prerogative. Like, that's what the franchise tag is literally for. How many players actually want the franchise tag? None. Except for maybe Tony Pollard with the Cowboys, where he signed his like that. Right? But it is a negotiating tool, and it is a future control that the team has. And plus, I mean, Darnold, he's said several times, like, there's no place I'd rather be. But of course, Kirk Cousins said that I want to retire with the Commies. I want to retire with the Vikings. I want to retire with the Falcons. He'll say, I want to retire with the Browns. It's going to happen, man. But also, tagging and trading is certainly viable, and that's one of the great options that the Vikings have. Plus, it's not punishment. Like, they're not going to tag him and trade him to the BC Lions. That's not going to happen, right? Because it's pointless for the other team to trade Darnold if he doesn't want to be there. What's going to happen is Darnold's agent will contact several teams after the franchise tag is put on. But they'll put the tag on, Darnold won't sign it, right? Because that's part of the game. And then what's going to happen is that Darnold's agent will be free to negotiate with all these several teams that may be interested in Sam Darnold. Maybe outside of the Giants and whoever takes the second quarterback, Shedeur, Sanders, Cam Ward, they're certainly going to be interested because this is a 2-quarterback draft and there isn't a ton out there in free agency outside of Cousins and probably Aaron Rodgers. But a 27-year-old who is playing like a top 4, top 5 quarterback who should be a top 4 MVP finalist, they don't hit the market too often. And now it's going to cost you a pretty penny, but guess what? It's also going to cost you draft capital too because the Vikings have that option with the tag and trade, right? So they're not just going to tag and trade him to anywhere, right? It's going to be a spot where they've already pre-negotiated a long-term deal, and it's a place where Sam Darnold wants to go. Like, this is not punishment. This is literally just business, right? It's not personal. So they will take care of Sam Darnold. Ideally, they'll trade him to the AFC, which would be kind of nice. And the Vikings would get some immediate draft capital help since they're bereft of day 2 draft picks. It would be delightful to get a first-rounder, have 2 firsts, as well as your franchise quarterback on his rookie deal. Diamond Dallas Turner heating up. You save that cash on the cap that you can spend in open free agency as well as retaining your guys. So I think it's a little bit too early to say that they're not just going to slap the tag on Sam Darnold. Like, it is a option. But, I mean, if Kwesi's completely taking the tag off the table, that's soft. No. He's not doing his job. All options have to be on the table, and the franchise tag, whether him staying and playing or tag and trade, has to be out there too. 2 very viable paths for the Vikings. Lastly, so, yes, Christmas Day football. Wednesday is the nut low in terms of days for Christmas Day because then they had to do that stupid, U4 teams play on Saturday, and then we'll get some rest. And the football wasn't great, and also you had 2 blowouts and stupid Chiefs getting the 1 seed again, 15-1. 11 wins by a single score. They can't keep getting away from this, but I do like the oversized coat thing. So that's the new one. And then the Ravens, of course, dismantling the fraudulent Texans. I mean, the Texans are just ass. Absolute ass. And also respect. I mean, Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Like, Josh Allen had a good couple of games, but Lamar is him. And 3-time MVP, what are you going to do? All right. And the Ravens are heating up. The Texans are, I understand that it's a short week, really emotionally draining with the Tank Adele injury, but the Texans have just been in disarray this season. Like, how big of a disappointment is Houston? Extremely. And the Ravens, 11-5, staying alive, looking really damn good. And now what's interesting, so the Chiefs now can literally rest their starters for multiple weeks. All right, so they're going to have that bye in the playoffs. Week 18 versus Denver doesn't matter because they already have the 1 seed locked up. And, I don't know, the guys are going to rest. So, of course, the Chiefs, they have just everything lined up for a three-peat. But it ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen because of this guy that we're going to tag in the offseason. Or actually, like we said a bunch, if Sam Darnold wins you a Super Bowl and he's Super Bowl MVP and he's a major reason why you got there in the first place, just give him the Dak Prescott contract. I don't care at that point. F the cap, F your mom. I got a Super Bowl trophy. Can't tell me nothing. So that's it. Anyways, happy Thursday. Happy Boxing Day. Go Liverpool. Skull, production value.